No single influence is more powerful than social proof. Seeing someone else succeed at the thing that you might have initially believed that you could not do. But the dirty truth about this quote is that it goes both ways. We tend to only think that we're capable of what has been modeled for us. I grew up in a small southern town where nobody really understood or was willing to receive what I was trying to do and say in my art. So as soon as possible, at 17, after graduating high school, I left. Just always kind of knew that the problem was not necessarily me. Even though I did endure a lot of social and emotional isolation through feeling that I really didn't belong, I was out of place, that there was something about me that was wrong, I always kind of felt that there was somewhere in this world that I belonged. Along this journey, there were always people that I would encounter who were very stuck in these very rigid ideas of how the world should operate and how I should see myself. And some of these people were benign, others were quite disruptive, others became life lessons. I tried to speak up about my experiences, about what happened to me, to find people wanted me to keep quiet. People wanted to keep the status quo more than they wanted to prevent other people like me from getting hurt. But I wanted to have that conversation, and I decided that we were gonna have that conversation. So I started speaking out on the internet, but I also took it to the streets. I started a small women's rights advocacy group, and the work that we did in the local community landed me on a 30 under 30 list. Eventually, my voice and the conversations that I wanted to have broke through the noise, and they found people like you. People who have always known, like me, that there's a place in the world for them where they will not be stifled, where they will not be asked to pretend to be less than what they are. Outpouring of love and support for these conversations that I've been facilitating online, the stories that you have sent me, they have inspired me to create a way to make these conversations louder. The Feminine Hysteria podcast. With your help, we can grow this community into something powerful. We can grow the social proof that shows people what they can be. We can grow the social proof that teaches people that they are not wrong for rebelling against abuse. We can grow the social proof that ensures that young girls never have to suffer the same things that we did. As the independent creator on this project, this community has already helped these messages reach over 1 million people every month, but we can go further. And this Patreon exists to create the funding required to be able to bring more people on staff, to create more content, to create more awareness, and to have these conversations in more formalized spaces. We'd also like to bring back the women's advocacy group. The Feminine Hysteria podcast is a podcast with a purpose. We're starting on Instagram and YouTube to grow a presence so that by the time that we launch on a broadcasting platform, we already have an audience in place so that we launch competitively, while also building the brand and content for you to enjoy, learn, and engage in community in on YouTube, Instagram, and of course, Patreon. The initial goal is to reach 200 patrons to help cover the out-of-pocket expenses for editing, newsletter hosting, website hosting. There's a WordPress and development being built by me. I'm not a web designer, but I'm making it shake, okay? And all the other expenses regarded with creation. The next goal is 400 patrons, which would allow me to publish videos more frequently, because at that point, if all the pledges were at the revolutionary level or higher, I would be able to work on the podcast full-time, which would be my dream and my honor. At 600 patrons at the revolutionary tier or higher, I would be able to bring on an assistant editor and a podcast producer, which would help us initiate the creation of audio episodes for an official launch. At 900 patrons, which is the big goal, we would be able to relaunch the women's advocacy group. And I have a successful track record of completing and launching crowd-funded projects. The Colored EP was a crowd-funded project. Strawberry Fields, the lead single, landed on iHeartRadio, which led to an iHeartRadio tour. My Alone Is Holy became the top grossing single from the record, resulting in some film and TV placement to successfully record 2 music videos for the project, one of which placed at a film festival. And the most popular track, My Alone Is Holy, continues to be an anthem for people who need love and inspiration world round. And that was only made possible through the contribution of people like you. But that just goes to show you that your patronage does go a long way when I am the creative director running the project. It also helps that I have a master's degree in business, specifically within the entertainment and digital marketing niche. If you have more questions about this podcast, please let me know.